If you feel like the country is getting hit by more natural disasters lately, you're right. 3 times as many slammed us between 2000 and 2009 than in the years of 1980 through 1989, according to a New England Journal of Medicine study. So if you're wondering about the risk of damage to your own home, well, there is reason to worry. Joining us now to discuss the number of American homes currently at high risk for natural disasters is Marketwatch's Catey Hill. Catey, thanks so much for being with us. There are 4 hurricanes brewing right now, something like 8 million acres.
The size of bigger than the size of Maryland.
Were destroyed in wildfires just this year. Not to mention the tornadoes, the 150 tornadoes. So just this year alone, we've seen so much damage, so much potential damage. What did this Realty Track study that was released Thursday show?
They found that now 43% of homes in the U.S. are at risk, high risk, by the way, high risk of a natural disaster hitting. And you look at these heat maps that show sort of where this is, and you're seeing, you know, all along California, along the coast, Florida, way up the East Coast where we are. I mean, there's just so many high risk zones.
43% of American homes.
Yes.
That's millions of homes.
I think it's 35.8 or 35.6, something like that. Million homes are now at high risk of a natural disaster. It is a big problem.
And which are the states that have the most high-risk counties?
So California, New Jersey, North Carolina, Florida, these are states where the most homes are at risk. And it makes sense. These are very densely populated places where the coast, you know, the hurricanes can easily hit a lot of times. And but they are millions of homes.
And what does this sort of risk do to real estate prices? It's complicated.
It is
right?
complicated. So in low-risk areas, home price appreciation tends to be steadier, but a bit faster. But it kind of goes like this. Whereas in high-risk areas, there's a lot of volatility because what happens, a storm hits, speculators come in, things get fixed up. So there's just a lot of messiness in home price areas that are high risk. But homes in high-risk areas tend to be higher value on average than in lower risk, but they go like this more.
But isn't that largely because a lot of the major metropolitan areas happen to be in higher risk areas?
That's exactly right. And there are a lot along the coast. Properties tend to be higher, and that's where some of the high risk areas are. So
here in New York, we're in a high risk area.
That's exactly right.
And we have some of the highest property values in the country. In California, which you mentioned. So what can homeowners do to protect themselves? Is insurance enough?
It's not. And first of all, you need to look, not only is my area at risk of a natural disaster, but my home itself. So like flooding, for example, people think, I'm not in a flood zone, but some homes themselves, just by virtue of where they are, actually are easily flooded. So you have to look at simple things like that. And then, insurance really isn't enough, which is sad to say. I looked at a study recently that said that most people, of course, they have homeowners insurance, but about 2/3 of them are underinsured with their own policy. Because what happens, you buy it and you sit it and forget it. And then, all of a sudden the replacement cost you have that's way too low. So you really have to look at your policy every year, make sure it's up to standards, because a lot of people just are completely underinsured.
And most homeowners policies don't include flood insurance, correct?
Right. So you need to think of all the extras you need too. You're absolutely right. So you need to figure out if you're in an earthquake area, if you're in a flood area, what extras do I need? I mean, it's easy to sort of, if you go online, you can sort of, Google around about this, but people just think, I have home insurance, over it, done.
And no, you need to be a lot more careful, a lot more specific. Scary stuff. Catey, thank you so much for that.